Good evening, everyone. We'll go ahead and call our July meeting of the Paducah Independent Board of Education to order. Madam Secretary, would you call the roll, please?
Dr. Koji?
Yes, I hear.
Ms. Hancock?
Here.
Ms. Howard? Here. Dr. Hudson?
Here, I think.
Yeah.
Dr. Levine?
Here. Have we established a quorum?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I so move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Are there any questions from the board? Call the roll, please.
Dr. Koji?
Yes.
Ms. Hancock?
Yes.
Ms. Howard?
Yes.
Dr. Hudson?
Yes.
Dr. Levine?
Yes. If everyone would please stand, Dr. Shively, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on tonight's agenda is Shonda Burris has some new members of the Paducah Board of Education to introduce.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Shively, faculty, staff, and community. It is with excitement that I have the opportunity to introduce two of the most amazing young ladies that will be the voice for the high school students as part of the board representatives for Paducah High School. And so how this came about is Dr. Shively and a couple of board members and I were speaking about the importance of having a student voice that communicates with the board on things that are relevant to them. And so what we decided to do was to invite all 9th and 10th graders to be able to apply for the board, which the application was comprised of an application, 2 letters of recommendation, a GPA requirement, and also in a pandemic, they were required to obtain 25 signatures from their peers, whether they were virtual students or in-person students. So that speaks to the innovation and the ability to think outside of the box for the students as well. In addition to that, they also had to write an essay on why they felt that they would be the best candidates for this particular position. And so we received 7 applications. After the 7 applications were reviewed, we actually took it to the student body to vote. So the entire student body had an opportunity to vote on those students that they felt would represent the student voice at Paducah Tillman, and as a result, it's my honor to introduce Ms. Deja Garland and Ms. Sanaya Shaw-Laster. But before I do that, because they'll have an opportunity to speak for themselves as well, is that part of what's going to happen as part of them being a voice, a student voice, they get the opportunity to lead and go to the middle school and also the elementary school because they are students as well, and so they have an opportunity to speak to those students to see what's going on. And I know it's going to fare different from elementary to middle and high school to where they're ready to talk about, you know, the cafeteria food, the lunch line, and recess, and some of the other things that might fare different when they get to the middle school and the high school level. And so all out there are going to just speak a little bit about who they are and who they, some of the things that they have had in terms of activities and extracurricular and what they are looking forward to as serving as a student board representatives.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Deja Garland. I will be a junior at Paducah Tillman High School this year. I am a varsity basketball player for the Girls Paducah Tillman program, going on 4 years now. I'm also a varsity track athlete, going on 4 years this year. I recently joined the Black Coal and Rose Society, a young mentoring program for young women. I attend Harrison Street Missionary Baptist Church, where I have participated in the dance group there for many years. One of my goals this year is to give all students a voice, but one of our goals that we want to work on is to give all young students of color a voice, because oftentimes they feel they don't. One of my future goals is to go to the University of Louisville or the University of Kentucky, where I want to major in health science to become a physical therapist or a athletic trainer.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sanaya Shaw Lester, going to the 11th grade this year. I have participated in the color guard all 3 years I've been here, and I was the president of the Keystones Achievers Club at the Oscar Cross Boys and Girls Club. I'm now a member of the Black Girls and Rose Society. As they just said, one of our goals is to make sure that people of color, children of color, and minorities, and people that come from different backgrounds to speak up and have a voice for themselves. And the goal for myself is to become a surgeon at the University of Louisville.
Congratulations. Thank you. Welcome aboard. You get to come every month now for a whole year. So, excellent. The next item on our agenda is a presentation on student achievement, and that's from the Paducah Innovation Hub, Tim Franklin and Principal Ebersobel. And I think they have also with them today, Andre Meadows is here too, who's your new assistant principal as well. So.
Correct. I thought I was at the microphone, but I do have a teacher's voice, so I can be loud.
Is that better? There we go.
There we go.
All right, so yes, Andre Meadows is with us this evening. And Mr. Meadows is not feeling very well, so he's going to slip out as soon as this is done. And I really appreciate him coming in. But I am so excited that he is now part of our team. I've known Andre for many years, and it's going to be great. I'm excited. And Mr. Franklin is our makerspace director. He's with us also. And the three of us, I think we're gonna have a great team going at the Hub. And so the presentation tonight is just about an update on what's been going on at the Hub for our first year. And it seems very odd to be doing this. I remember the day when it was freezing cold and we're all over there huddled up trying to stay warm, and y'all did the groundbreaking, and we talked about all the great things to come at the Hub. And it's really amazing to see all those things start to come to fruition, and it's very exciting. And so the focus is really going to cover a little bit about the Paducah Area Technology Center, which has been absorbed into the Innovation Hub, and then the makerspace. But we'll touch on some of the exciting things going on at Paducah Tillman High School as well, because I lost my mic. That's part of the Innovation Hub. So.
You can use the handout. I think the battery must be in.
Okay. There we go. So, in the Innovation Hub, we have the Paducah Area Technology Center, which includes some of what we think of as traditional trades classes, but it's also health science as well. This is a picture of student Vince, who's learning how to use a CNC plasma cutter in the Hub and doing custom cutting with steel. Vince is a junior, or was a junior, who will be a senior. So he's the first student who really has shown an interest in learning how to use some CAD software to do custom metal cutting. And Mr. Franklin has been training him throughout the year on that. And there's a little piece of metal on your table that says Hub on it. That's our new Hub logo. And we cut those for you on that CNC plasma cutter, I think today, because Mr. Franklin is just amazing and wonderful and can make those things happen immediately. So also, this is a picture in the welding shop as well. And this is Mr. Wilbur, our welding teacher, working one-on-one with the student, working on some skills. And I'll tell you, this right here shows what the greatest challenge during the pandemic has been. Students working one-on-one with instructors to gain the skills they need in these trades is extremely important. And it's very difficult to do that when students are learning virtually. I've always joked with the teachers saying, I don't want to drive across the bridge that was built by the student that learned to weld virtually. But there's some truth to that. They've got to practice those skills. They've got to be there every day practicing. And a really great story, we have a Tillman student who's a senior. He was able to do his required academic courses, math and English, virtually. So Monday and Tuesdays he came and worked in the welding shop with Mr. Wilbur. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, he actually worked with A&K Construction, building the new Lone Oak Middle School. Graduated on Friday. On Monday, he started 40 hours a week, full benefits, big pay raise, 401k. He didn't know what a 401k was. That was a whole new teachable moment. But great opportunities like that for our students. This is a young man in our auto painting in our paint booth, and might work, maybe not. Oh, there we go. It's Mr. Denson demonstrating how students paint. This is one of the projects they did. This is Fulton County Public Schools Resource Officer's car. So this was a police car donated to Fulton County Schools. They sent it to us. We took all the decals off and repainted it for them, and it got shipped back to them this summer. So that was kind of a fun project for our students. There we go. This is also in collision repair. Students learn everything from how to do the estimation on what it's going to cost to repair vehicles, to cleaning them and getting them prepped to be given back to their customers. And this day, Mr. Denson was demonstrating how to properly wash a car. And there's a whole process they have to learn, because you use specific chemicals on different things. And there's certain chemicals you can't use in that shop because it will ruin the paint booth. And I didn't know that. But it was kind of interesting because that pressure washer is so strong that he had a young man that he had to hold on to, because he was sliding across the floor every time he tried to use the pressure washer there. Mr. Weaver, you might need to click the go button. There we go. This is Ms. Thomas. She's one of our health science teachers. We have 2 RNs that work for us in the hub, and she's preparing senior Jacob for a phlebotomy exam. He actually passed that exam. Probably shouldn't say that, but he did very well in that exam, and we're very proud of him. He is off to a 4-year nursing program at Western. Our students are able to sit for phlebotomy, EKG exams, M&A, and has a little surprise at the end for you. We're going to add. So this is our carpentry shop. Mr. Hayden's got a group of students here. They're working on building some deer blinds for people. And so in carpentry, our focus is residential construction, but the construction of a house is the same as these small little deer blinds. And then they sell those for profit to go back into that program. And this photo, they were actually learning how to put shingles on. So busy day in there. A lot of fun. That's a very fun shop to be a part of. But every welder, carpenter, auto body guy, and auto tech student who wanted a summer job is placed in a position of working this summer. There is a huge shortage, and these are all high demand fields. This is last day of school, and our teachers wanted to do something nice for our students that were here most of the time during the pandemic. And so we invited Mr. Oscar Gamble, and that's his fancy car there in the front, and then he invited a lot of his car friends. And so that whole road out here was filled with antique cars, and students got to go out there and meet the owners and talk cars, and it was really exciting to see. They had a great time. These 3 young men are very interesting. This young man is an auto tech student. We couldn't find a good placement for him in the auto tech field, so he's actually working at McKeel Equipment. He's learning about heavy equipment this summer in the diesel industry, and now he's thinking he may continue his education to become a diesel tech. This young man is an auto tech student, and he is he's kind of an entrepreneur. He has his own lawn care service, and it's actually a really big business. And then the student on the right, Ethan, is a welder, and he was the AGC Student of the Week, but he was also our AGC Student of the Year. And at graduation, at the signing day, he signed to become a millwright, part of the millwright union. And then the day after graduation, he was offered a job at a plant in Calvert City making $22 an hour to start. And so he was pretty excited about that start to a career. So all 3 of these young men are pretty enterprising guys, and there'll be great things to come from them. So we'll shift to makerspace, and our makerspace as some of you know and some may not, our makerspace provides hands-on project-based learning for students in grades K through 12. And we offer during school programming, after school programming, and summer camps. And that is all comes from the mastermind, Mr. Franklin, who has organized that, found the people to teach it. Like this is Mr. Adams doing a space and flight camp where in 4 days they learned everything from the start of the history of flight to building rockets and launching rockets out here on our front lawn. This is just a sample of what we do in the makerspace, but these are some elementary students that came over, and they are, that's Katie Jenkins there, one of our technicians in the makerspace, and she's demonstrating a Sphero. It's a small robot, very similar to a hamster ball, but it's controlled with a remote device like a phone or an iPad or a tablet. But we wanted to give you just a little snapshot of kind of what's going on. So in the month of March, that was one of our only real full months in the spring because of COVID, because of spring break, because of end of year things. And so just in March, we had 501 students come to the makerspace, which is pretty impressive. And of those 501, 303 students were minorities. So 60.479% of our students working in the makerspace in March were minority students, which I think really demonstrates our dedication to targeting those students and getting them really involved with these hands-on learning experiences. And we really want to open their eyes to opportunities in high-tech careers, in trades, and things that they may not know about and families may not know about, you know. And we'll talk about some of those others as we go through. June was crazy busy with summer camps. We had 8 different summer camps going on, 320 students in summer camps, and 40% of those were minorities. Some of those students were from other districts, as far away as Caldwell County. There's a group that was driving in from Caldwell County and paying a fee to come to our summer camps. And then all of our schools had summer school in June. And those students really, you know, that was kind of a big switch. We hadn't offered summer school for all students in a very long time. And so they needed something to break up their day. They needed something to keep them engaged and excited about school. So we partnered with all of our schools, had 15 different events, 440 students from elementary, middle school. Did we have any high school students in that? No, we didn't have a high school student in there. But they were transported by their schools to do activities and hands-on projects, activities in the makerspace. 64% of those students were minorities, which, as I thought about this and was kind of putting this together, I think this right here, the transportation piece, is the key to getting more minority students to summer camps next summer. Mr. Franklin offered buses to any student who wanted to come to summer camp that would go pick them up, and we had 0 students take advantage of that. Even after calling, saying, we'd love for you to come, we'd send a bus to pick you up, we couldn't get them there. So next year, that's going to be a target for us to get more minority students to our summer camps by providing transportation, hopefully. We also collaborated with McCracken County Public Library and the Market House Theater with some of those summer camps, and we'll show you an example of those. We also hired some student workers, some technicians to work in the makerspace. This was training day, and that was really exciting for them. You know, these guys had the initiative to apply for the position, do all of the things required to complete that application, get the letters of reference, have the GPA, all of those things, and then show up on time and be there for training, and then show up to actually work. And so it's been a very good experience for these kiddos. This is an example of one of our summer camps. This is App Creator. Mr. Meadows actually taught that. And in 4 days, students developed an app for an Android phone. It's pretty amazing. Middle schoolers. I did some tours for some adults, and they were like, it would take me 4 days to just figure out how to download the app and use it. And these kids are writing the code to build apps. Mr. Meadows did this with 2 different groups. His second group was actually all boys. One of them even did football practice in the morning, and then when he was done with football practice, came over. It was really interesting to see these guys do this. This is Science and Drama Camp. We partnered with Market House Theater. It was pretty cool. Mr. Franklin actually used to do this down at the Market House Theater, but we got the hub here. It's pretty amazing. So Ms. Cochran taught kids some drama, and they learned a play during 1 week. And paired with that, our makerspace technicians each taught a different rotation to those students. So Micah Spann did laser engraving. One student did rocket building. One student did 3D printing. One did virtual reality. And so these students, even though many of them were not Paducah City kids, got to experience some of these things, and they're asking their parents now, how do I get to do that again? And that's pretty exciting for us, I think. But this is on Friday, the day of the performance. I think there was 60, 70 adults there to see that performance sitting on our social staircase. This is Micah with a group of young ladies that are in that camp doing some laser engraving. They had a blast doing that. It was really exciting. And Micah really enjoyed it too. And he did an awesome job. It was exciting to have him there. He is, you may have some teaching DNA in there because he was also very patient with young people. That was good to see. So this is not at the hub. You may recognize this. This is Paducah Middle School. Mr. Franklin went on a recruiting mission, headed over to Paducah Middle, did some robotics demonstrations with these guys. They had a blast, really excited about it. Our goal there is to recruit students to come to after-school programming, summer camps, and then be engaged with the makerspace and the Innovation Hub. But that, I think, was a pretty exciting day. So these are some younger students, and this is a really neat little project. This was an art project, so they each were given a piece of foam board, and they did a personal art project. And then, I believe they were second graders, is that right? Yeah, then second graders, we brought them over to the big laser, and they got to put it on the laser and fire it up, and that laser cut that out like a jigsaw puzzle. So they went home with a custom-made jigsaw puzzle that had their artwork on it. So truly engaging students at the lower elementary level, trying to get them excited about what's going on here. And then this was really cool. We've got some virtual reality stuff going on around here that's pretty exciting. And this is Paducah Public Schools Foundation board member. I won't say her name. I'm going to keep that anonymous or a mystery, But we brought them to the hub to demonstrate how virtual reality goggles work. And they were blown away by an amazing world that they had never been exposed to. It was really fun. It was really a good time. But they left with a new understanding for, gosh, if I'm in a history class and history seems boring, I can put these virtual reality goggles on and experience a historical event that truly comes to life. And so now Mr. Franklin's been training some history teachers in the district, and they're going to start using this in history classrooms. We've got science teachers that are excited about it. We're going to start doing this. But you can put those goggles on and be in the trenches in World War I. You can put them on and be on a landing craft in World War II at Normandy. I mean, it's unbelievable the opportunities that this will open up for our students and for our teachers to make learning relevant to their lives. So, good help. There's that person. And then, last slide on here is something we say all the time to our students, to our teachers that visit, to anyone that will listen, and that is that we're only limited by our imagination in this building. It's been so amazing to see Tillman art students see something in the makerspace and then want to learn that and how they can apply that in that art classroom. And the collaboration between the ATC teachers who have never really been included with Tillman faculty is really another exciting new development. ATC teachers have never felt like they were part of our school district because they are state employees. They don't work for Paducah City Schools, but they are so excited to be included and to be able to work with, it's like they have a big team to work with now, and it's very exciting. So some new things on the horizon here. Through a partnership with Mercy Emergency Medical Services, we are going to be able to offer an EMT certification program starting this fall. They are providing an instructor to us free of charge, which is really exciting. That's going to be part of the ATC. So both Tillman and McCracken students will be able to take that. We're going to start a virtual reality coding class with a partnership company called Robotics, who is the industry leader in the coding for the Oculus headset. And Mr. Meadows is actually going to teach the first cohort there. We've got 25 to 30 freshmen coming in that are going to take that class. It's going to start with some really basic computer science instruction, but eventually they're going to get to build their own video game that they can play on the Oculus headset. That company has said that every student who can complete the pathway and pass the certification test, they will hire starting them at $40,000 a year with a high school diploma. So another avenue for employment for our students. And then as part of our robotics program, Jimmy Gwynn's class, students will be able to sit for the FAA drone pilots class. So they will work on drone piloting skills and then use the curriculum to prep them for that exam. So if you see drones flying around the building, that's what they're working on. That's going to be exciting. Not on that list is something we've been approached by Tennessee Valley Robotics. They are a nonprofit who support robotic education anywhere that the TVA has a footprint. And they would like to fund a program for us called MATE, and it is it's underwater drones. So they want to buy us a small practice swimming pool and remote control submarines for our students to start training on that. That is a big need in the TVA world, but also in the gas and pipeline world. They use those robotic underwater drones to inspect oil rigs in the Gulf. They also use them to inspect dams on rivers throughout the United States. And then this right here is, to me, one of the most exciting things going on. And I've been working with Mr. Smith developing a work-based learning manual. And really, Mr. Smith has been doing the heavy lifting on this. You know, we've always had students that, you know, one student might know somebody who's a dentist and spend some time in the dentist's office and shadow them, or somebody goes to CSI for a day. But we want to formalize that, and we want a way that we can offer students school credit for it, but also develop the relationships with regional industry partners so that way our students come back to Paducah, as we say, by design, not by chance. And so the first of these was Mr. Joe Edwards, owner of Harper Construction. He threw out a number and said, hey, I'll take 2 carpenters, a mason, and someone to work in my accounting office if you can provide the interns. That was last spring. I just met with Ingram Barge, and they've offered to take 3 interns. So senior welders can come do their English and math online, not online, but in the morning. In the afternoon, go to their welding shop over Metropolis, and they're going to pay them $14.50 an hour as a part-time welder for them. They get to try them out as an employee, and they get to gain the skills of working in a real welding shop. And then, if they work well, you know, they'll offer them jobs. And so, to me, that's our goal here. You know, we want students that can find their way, find their career pathway that makes sense for them and is exciting for them, and provide an atmosphere to be excited about learning, where they're, you know, we can answer the old question of, well, why do I need to know that? You know, if you can answer that, you can hook them. So that's what's on the horizon for us right now. I was only supposed to talk for 5 to 10 minutes, and sorry. It's just an exciting place to be, and it's this exciting every day for me. So anyway, any questions from you guys?
Any questions from the board?
I just want to know how to take some of these classes. It makes me want to.
You know what? Every tour I do, every adult says, I wish I could go back to high school, or how can I do that? And so in our plans, we're going to start offering some adult programming. And really long-range goals, what I would love to see is when Ms. Lewis has her new Head Start Early Childhood Center, we're offering career pathways for our students in education where they take their first education classes as high school juniors and seniors. They do their practicum hours with our Head Start program. And then in the evening, they work to provide childcare for adults returning to work. And we offer certification programs here in welding or carpentry or health science, whatever it might be. And we use our Head Start Center to break down some of those barriers for adult education. We provide a daycare. We can maybe use our federal food program to feed those students. And then an adult doesn't have to worry about, what am I doing with my child if I really want to go back to school? You know, and the first of those we have that's really working well is a partnership with Codify, IT company in Missouri. Mondays and Thursdays they're here for 3-hour classes, and it's free for adults. And they have 24 adults in that first cohort. It's a 20-week program, and it certifies them as entry-level computer coders. And we're letting them use the hub to do that. In the fall, that group will graduate and move to the next level of coding, and a new entry-level cohort will start. We'll have 2 different classrooms going at the same time. So.
Mr. Resolve, we touched on the Tillman opportunities. I know you've focused on the makerspace and the area technology center.
Yes.
What the other opportunities are that we've combined in here from Tillman?
Sure. Well, Tillman's art department is here, right outside the door here. And so every student at Tillman who takes art is here in this building. Our physics, AP Physics, and engineering lab are on the first floor across from carpentry and welding, which makes sense because you take an engineering class, you design something, you could then go upstairs to Mr. Gwynn's class in a CAD classroom and draw up a blueprint, and then you come back down in carpentry and welding and actually build the things that you're designing, which is an exciting way to learn. CAD, VR will be here, robotics, and some engineering upstairs as well. And then our health science program is up there across the hall from Navy ROTC. And we're getting a new commanding officer that I just met. Super guy, seems like he's really into it. He's been an ROTC commanding officer for 9 years, so he brings with him a lot of experience, which is good. And then of course, Ms. Balke's IT classroom is across the hall from Mr. Gwynn, and she does computer science, AP computer science, but also an entrepreneurs class that I hope really kind of grows and expands this year. With the IT side of that, we are really looking at, with the help of my former assistant principal, Mr. Snarton, because he now works for CSI as a recruiter, on developing a really solid internship with CSI. We've had some kids be very successful doing that, but it has some challenges because there's such a the security level at CSI is pretty high because of the banking and the monitoring of transactions, and so it's very difficult to have high school age students involved with some of that, but we're going to figure out a way to make it happen, and that's going to be exciting in the IT world for us. What else?
Any questions? Is your list for summer camps for next year expanding?
So we are kind of on the verge of this place like exploding. We need a bigger hub. We need more staff, and Yes, and the ideas have just been flowing in. Oh, I would love to teach this. Oh, I would love to do that. And so Mr. Franklin is constantly looking for people who have unique talents that we don't know about to teach in the hub, and it's good. The other thing that's really exciting is that we have totally rebranded what an area technology center is. You know, in the old days, the students who came to the old ATC were not necessarily the most studious of students. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because some of those students really excel with the hands-on stuff. But many of them were not real serious about school and about a career pathway. They were there because, well, someone told them that's what they needed to take. And now we're seeing a change there. You know, there are lots of smiles in this building because students just enjoy what they're doing. They're having fun learning. And that's kind of exciting. You know, I had seen that since my kindergarten friends at Clark School, you know. They come in excited about all kinds of new experiences, and it's kind of the same here with big kids. And it makes it fun. It makes it fun for them. But anyway, yes, we are expanding that list, it's going to be, that's going to be a big challenge for us in the future.
And you're going to have elementary and middle school students here throughout the year on different times with different programs.
Correct.
And, you know, kind of.
Correct. And we've also had lots of opportunities for high school students, even though we hadn't been, you know, full capacity like we would normally be in whatever a normal year looks like. We've had lots of opportunity for high school students to mentor elementary and middle school students. And I think that's a huge learning piece here at the Hub. You know, you saw that picture of Micah working with those young girls on the laser. I mean, he was proud of himself, you know, because he was leading this group, teaching them something they had no earthly, they couldn't even wrap their mind around what they were going to do with the laser, you know, and he was in his element teaching and felt good about it. And it's just exciting to see our high school students gain those skills, gain that confidence, and use it to help grow our own students in our district, or not in our district sometimes. So.
Thank you. Dr. Hudson, we couldn't tell if you were behind the screen because they were all showing the Hub video pictures, but did you have any questions for Mr. Ebersabel?
No question.
Okay.
All right. Well, one thing we would love to do, it would probably require a special call working board meeting, is we would love to get you guys in the makerspace and do something, you know, and maybe we open that up to some students in our district and you all come work with a group of students and we'll let you have some fun with it. So let us know when y'all like to do that. We'd love to make that happen. So.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can I add one last thing?
Sure.
Yes, sir.
I would personally like to thank our Paducah Public Schools Foundation Board, who's committed to fundraising.
Yes.
Right now we're in the Paxton Challenge, but that money ensures that the after-school programming that we run throughout the school year and the summer camps is free for all Paducah Public School students. And so those opportunities are here and waiting, and we'll have a bigger list next year of opportunities, I think, as we go forward. But I'd like to thank them for that. They're committed to ensuring that is endowed money going forward.
Thank you. Thank you again for coming. Yeah, sure. Did our student representatives have any questions? Did you all have any questions for the? Okay, all right, thank you. All right, the next item on our agenda is item 4.1. This is an opportunity for oral communications from the audience regarding items which are included on tonight's agenda. Hearing none, we'll move on to item 4.2. This is an opportunity for oral communications from the audience regarding items which are not included on tonight's agenda. Absolutely.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Read you in the name of the Lord, Most High, the one who was, is, and is to come. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to express my thoughts on issues that concern me especially. Give me about 2.5 minutes at the most. It's good coming from a pastor, so. Proverbs chapter number 16, verse number 18. Pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs 11:2. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with the humble is wisdom. Isaiah chapter number 2, verse 11 and 12. The haughty looks of man shall be brought low, and the lofty pride of men shall be humbled. And the Lord alone will be exalted in that day. For the Lord of hosts has a day against all that is proud and lofty, against all that is lifted up, and it shall be brought low. Proverbs 18:12. Before destruction, a man's heart is haughty, but humility comes before honor. Obadiah chapter number 1, 3, and 4. The pride of heart has deceived you. You who live in the clefts of the rock, in your lofty dwelling, who say in your heart, who will bring me down to the ground? Though you soar aloft like the eagle, though your nest is set above the stars, from there I will bring you down, declares the Lord. Proverbs 29:3. One's pride will bring him low, but he who is lofty in spirit will obtain honor. 3 more. Proverbs 17:19. Whoever loves transgression loves strife. He who makes his door high seeks destruction. James 3:14 and 16. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, and demonic. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be dishonor and every vile practice. 2 more. Proverbs 16:2. All a person's ways seems pure to them, but motives are weighed by the Lord. Last one. Proverbs 16:5. The Lord detests all the proud of heart. Be sure of this, they will not go unpunished. May the Lord have a blessing to reading His word. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Pastor Walden. Are there other oral communications from the audience regarding items which are not included on tonight's agenda? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to item 5.0, consent agenda. Is there a motion from the board to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
A second.
There's a motion and a second. Are there any questions from the board regarding the consent agenda? Call the roll, please.
Dr. Koji?
Yes.
Ms. Hancock?
Yes.
Ms. Howard?
Yes.
Dr. Hudson?
Yes.
Dr. Levin?
Yes. Item 6.1, supplemental position. The superintendent recommends that the Paducah Board of Education approve the supplement of $2,000 for the position of coach for the new esports team at Paducah Tillman High School, which was approved by the Site-Based Decision-Making Council on June 4th, 2021. Is there a motion to approve item 6.1?
I'll make a motion we approve item 6.1, supplemental position.
Is there a second?
A second.
Are there any questions from the board?
Yes, what is an esports team?
Esports
Showing my
team
age, I know.
is actually a Kentucky High School Athletic Association recognized sport now. We're probably a little bit behind other districts. To give you a little bit of background, every year or every 2 years, we do a survey of the students at the high school and ask them what opportunities that we do not offer for the Kentucky High School Athletic Association that they would be interested in, and the administration uses that information to see if we need to add any additional Kentucky High School Athletic Association sanctioned events. And so from that data, there was a lot of interest in a video esports team. And I believe a teacher has taken upon themselves to take that to the high school site-based council. And this is where the laws are a little different in Kentucky than other states. Specifically, the school-based decision-making council gets to decide if they're going to offer the extracurricular activity, but the board sets the supplemental salary for this. And so you kind of got to work in conjunction. And so Ms. Stieg and I have talked about that, and I think there's several students that are interested in doing that. This coming year, and at least I can think of a video board out in the lobby here with the social staircase that the kids would be excited about it. And so any opportunity we have to engage students in something beyond the school day, I think is an opportunity that we don't need to miss. That's my personal opinion, but any thoughts from our students? Y'all heard much about that? No? Okay. Sorry, didn't need each other's fine.
Your sports, not esports.
That's right.
Right?
Track.
Gotcha. Any other questions from the board? Call the roll,
I
please.
have a question.
Oh, yes, Dr. Hudson.
This is for a position, am I correct, not a person already in this position?
It would be hit the wrong button. It would be a supplemental position that the high school would post as an opportunity, just like a coach for track or band or flags or et cetera. And so then they'll apply and then they'll make a decision on who should lead that team. Yes, sir.
Are there other questions from the board? Okay. Call the roll, please.
Dr. Koji?
Yes.
Ms. Hancock?
Yes.
Ms. Howard?
Yes.
Dr. Hudson?
Yes.
Dr. LeBoon?
Yes. Item 6.2, salary schedules for 2021 and 2022. The superintendent recommends that the Paducah Board of Education approve the 2021-2022 salary schedules for Head Start, transportation, and substitute staff. These are included in our packet under separate cover. Is there a motion to approve item 6.2?
I'll make a motion we approve item 6.2 salary schedules.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Are there any questions from the board? Call the roll, please.
Dr. Koji?
Yes.
Ms. Hancock?
Yes.
Ms. Howard?
Yes.
Dr. Hudson?
Yes.
Dr. LeBoon?
Yes. Item 6.3, amendment of board policies, KSBA policy update number 44, second reading. The superintendent recommends that the Paducah Board of Education approve the KSBA policy service update number 44 as recommended. A copy of the recommended policy changes is included with the agenda under separate cover. Is there a motion to approve item 6.3?
I'll make a motion we approve item 6.3.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Are there any questions from the board? Call the roll, please.
Dr. Koji?
Yes.
Ms. Hancock?
Yes.
Ms. Howard?
Yes.
Dr. Hudson?
Yes.
Dr. LeBoon?
Yes. Item 6.4, payments to contractors, BG 20-166. The superintendent recommends that the Paducah Board of Education approve the following payments to contractors for the Art Building renovation project, multipurpose athletic facility. This is payment application number 9 to Ray Black & Sons for $6,785.73. It's a final payment, including the release of all retainage. Is there a motion to approve this payment to contractors?
I'll make a motion we approve the payments to contractors.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Are there any questions from the board? Call the roll, please.
Dr. Koji?
Yes.
Ms. Hancock?
Yes.
Ms. Howard?
Yes.
Dr. Hudson?
Yes.
Got it.
Got it.
Dr. Levine?
Yes. Item 6.5, BG4 closeout document. The superintendent recommends that the Paducah Board of Education approve the BG4 closeout document for the art building renovation project, multipurpose athletic facility. Is there a motion to approve item 6.5?
I make a motion we approve item 6.5.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Are there any questions from the board? Call the roll, please.
Dr. Koji?
Yes.
Ms. Hancock?
Yes.
Ms. Howard?
Yes.
Dr. Hudson?
Yes.
Dr. Levine?
Yes. I believe we need a motion to go into executive session regarding personnel, property, and potential litigation. Is there a motion from the board to go into executive session?
I so move.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Are there any further questions from the board? Call the roll, please.
Dr. Koji?
Yes.
Ms. Hancock?
Yes.
Ms. Howard?
Yes.
Dr. Hudson?
Yes.
Dr. Levine?
Yes. Thank you for coming, everybody.